Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts because this is the internet. And that's how it works now. I'm Cecil, and I'll be masterminding this plot, but I'll need my pawns. First up, two guys that just want to be promoted to queens, Heath and Noah.
DEI for white guys who got to go first. Thank you. It's about time.
Oh, I'm just trying to make it across the board.
Man. And also joining us tonight, two guys that are pretty happily sacrificed, Eli and Tom.
Yeah, turns out my weakness was a screen I could put back in my pocket.
I once got trapped in an elevator and I just laid down. So yeah,
Good way to do it.
I'm not working real hard to stick around. Yeah.
Patrons, without you, we would have resigned a long time ago. So thanks for the check, mate. If you'd like to learn how to join their ranks, be sure to stick around till the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Tom, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
We'll be talking about the collar bomb heist.
And Eli, you switched this essay for one that was about 24-hour masturbation. Are you ready to pull a fast one?
I am, Cecil.
All right.
I am indeed.
So tell us, what was the collar bomb heist?
It was a crime so stupendously cinematic that after having heard about it, thanks to the one and only Cecil Something Italian, I still didn't believe it was true. It combines the daring heist Tom has been so fond of reporting with the probably lies that make my contributions the solid diamond at the heart of our podcast. And best of all, someone already wrote an article about it, so I didn't have to do any work this week. So we'll be reading, quote, The Incredible True Story of the Collar Bomb Heist by Rich Shapiro. So a big thanks to Rich and Wired.com for the article.
Eli, I appreciate the shout out, but Heath is really our Ocean's 11 guy. I'm our Ocean's 11 degrees guy.
Yeah, but he's good at this. Like, assuming Cecil remembers to cut this line in the edit, they still don't know about Heath's involvement in the Louvre heist.
Interesting. What? At 2:28 p.m. on August 28th of 2003, a middle-aged pizza delivery man named Brian Wells walked into a PNC Bank in Erie, Pennsylvania. He had a short cane in his right hand and a strange bulge under the collar of his t-shirt. Wells, 46 and balding, passed the teller a note. Gather employees with access codes
Why
to
do you
vault.
have to mention that he's balding? What the fuck does that have to do with the rest of the story? That's such a... Okay, sorry.
Zing. Gather employees with access codes to vault and work fast to fill bag with $250,000, it said. You have only 15 minutes. Then he lifted his shirt to reveal a heavy, box-like device dangling from his neck. According to the note, it was a bomb. The teller, who told Wells there was no way to get into the vault at that time, filled a bag with cash, $8,702, and handed it over. Wells walked out, sucking on a dum-dum lollipop he grabbed from the counter, hopped into his car, and drove off. He didn't get far. Some 15 minutes later, state troopers spotted Wells standing outside his Geo Metro in a nearby parking lot, surrounded him, and tossed him to the pavement, cuffing his hands behind his back.
Admittedly, putting $8,700 into the hatch of a Geo Metro made it look like $250,000.
Yeah, that's actually why I buy underwear 2 sizes too small. It's a forced perspective thing.
Sure.
Okay, just circling back. I love that he got a bag of cash and then he was like, lollipops. Nice. Are these free? and he only took one.
took one,
That's what it said on the jar. It said take one. Wells told
Were you the kid who took one at Halloween from the big box?
Of course.
Crazy.
Because all
First
the
of all,
candy...
you're lying.
Okay. You forget I was richer than I was greedy. Or just cry and my parents would buy me my own bag of Three Musketeers, which you guys talked shit about on Cog Dis. I turned on my Cog Dis. I was having a lovely time in the
Three
cinema.
Musketeers.
Answer
How
for
dare you.
favorite candy
Fuck
bar. It just is.
Three
Musketeers
Musketeers is the
Kick back.
worst.
Enjoy
It's
my
trash.
Everyone's a Critic sequel. Wells told the troopers that while out on a delivery, he had been accosted by a group of black men who chained the bomb around his neck at gunpoint and forced him to rob a bank. It's going to go off, he told them in desperation. I'm not lying. The officers called the bomb squad and took positions behind their cars, guns drawn. TV camera crews arrived and began filming. For 25 minutes, Wells remained seated on the pavement, his legs curled beneath him.
That's something, isn't it? Hey, he might explode at any minute, but Let's make sure we still have the option of shooting him if we need to.
Hey guys, have you seen like stepmom porn? Can we get like a dryer and get his head into the dryer? Just to make it safer for the rest of us?
Did you call my boss? Wells asked a trooper at one point, apparently concerned that his employer would think he was shirking his duties.
Well, to be fair, he was shirking his duties.
Suddenly, the device started to emit an accelerating beeping noise. Wells fidgeted. It looked like he was trying to scoot backward to somehow escape the bond strapped to his neck. Beep, 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 boom. The device detonated, blasting him violently onto his back and ripping a 5-inch gash in his chest. The pizza delivery man took a few last gasps and died on the pavement. It was 3:18 p.m. The bomb squad arrived 3 minutes later.
Awkward.
That collar is one way to make sure pizzas get there in 30 minutes or less, though, you know?
Still a better outcome than having to eat Domino's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having
Like,
a
by the way,
deliberator flashback.
I like that the bomb squad arrived at 3-2-1. That's excellent. I just noticed that.
Guys, let's wait around the corner. This is going to be fun. Did you hear that?
No, we should probably go. No, we'll get in trouble.
The police began sorting through a trove of physical evidence. In Wells's car, they discovered the 2-foot-long cane, which turned out to be an ingeniously crafted homemade gun.
A gun in the shape of a tube. Ingenious.
The bomb itself was likewise a marvel of DIY design and construction. The device consisted of 2 parts, a triple-banded metal collar with 4 keyholes and a 3-digit combination lock, and an iron box containing 2 6-inch pipe bombs loaded with double base smokeless powder.
Jesus.
The hinged collar locked around Wells's neck like a giant handcuff. Investigators could tell it had been built by using professional tools. The device also contained 2 Sunbeam kitchen timers and 1 electric countdown timer. It had wires running through it that connected to nothing. Decoys to throw off would-be disablers and stickers bearing deceptive warnings. The contraption was a puzzle in and of itself.
Okay, if you want to foil the bomb squad, all you have to do is make the wires all the same color, and you're fucking
Right,
done.
yeah,
Just
right.
like watch one movie.
Yeah. I do feel like it's rude to openly marvel at the murder weapon 1 paragraph after the dude died, though, right?
The most perplexing and intriguing piece of evidence, though, were the handwritten notes that the investigators found inside Wells's car. Addressed to the bomb hostage, the notes instructed Wells to rob the bank of $250,000, then follow a set of complex instructions to find various keys and a combination code hidden throughout Erie. It contained drawings, threats, and detailed maps. If Wells did as he was told, the instructions promised, he'd wind up with the keys and the combination required to free him from the bomb. Failure or disobedience would result in certain death. Quote, "There is only one way you can survive, and that is to cooperate completely," the notes read in meticulous lettering that would later stymie handwriting analysis. "This powerful booby-trapped bomb can be removed only by following our instructions. Act now, think later, or you will die." It seemed that whoever planned the robbery had also constructed a nightmarish scavenger hunt for Wells, in which the prize was his life.
Just some guy in a clown mask inconspicuously driving a tricycle near the crime scene, trying not to look over, you know?
In the frantic hours after Wells was killed, the cops tried completing the hunt themselves. The first note was straightforward enough: exit the bank with all the money, go to the McDonald's restaurant. It read, "Get out of the car and go to the small sign reading drive-through open 24 hours. In the flower bed, by the sign, there is a rock with a note taped to the bottom. It has your next instructions." Wells drove straight there after he left the bank with the bag of cash. He retrieved a 2-page note from the flower bed, which directed him up Peach Street to a wooded area several miles away where a container with orange tape would hold the next set of instructions. Wells was caught before he got to that clue, but the investigators picked up the thread, locating the container with the orange tape. In it, they found a note directing them 2 miles south to a small road sign, where the next clue would be waiting in a jar in the woods nearby. When they got there, they found the jar, but it was empty. Whoever had set up this macabre ordeal in motion, it seemed, had called it off once the cops had appeared, and had probably been watching them every step of the way.
Jesus, the origin story for geocaching is way darker than I expected.
Wells's clothing.
Is this a
added
collar bomb in here? That's really cool. I'll take that.
I'm going to sign this book, though. Log 1, collar bomb.
Wells's clothing added another layer of intrigue. He died wearing 2 t-shirts, the outer one emblazoned with a Guess Clothing logo. Wells wasn't wearing the shirt at work that morning, and his relatives said it wasn't his. It appeared to be a taunt. Can you guess who's behind this?
What? A jilted client? That's a weird misdirect. Like, my pizza was late, and he would not take sex as payment. Straight to Saw.
Yeah,
Straight to the
straight to
jigsaw
Saw.
killer.
That was just one of the questions that perplexed investigators. What, for instance, was the purpose of the scavenger hunt? Why send a hostage hopping around Erie in broad daylight? Why scatter clues in public locations where they might be discovered? How was Wells chosen to be the hostage?
Best episode of Mr. Beast of all time. Absolutely.
The riddles transfixed the city of Erie and drew headlines in newspapers from St. Louis to Sydney. It also set in motion a Byzantine investigation with federal agents sniffing out clues and hunting down leads in twisted pursuit of the shadowy criminal who came to be known as the Collar Bomber.
Okay, shadowy maybe, but like historically inept when it came to the actual criming. That's right.
That's fair. For 7 years, the FBI was engaged in a scavenger hunt of its own, one that the Collar Bomber seemed to have planned as intricately as the one that had ensnared Wells. The only question was whether the feds would get any further than Wells had.
Hope so, man. Riggs only had 1 more week till retirement. Just 1 more week.
Murtaugh was the one.
Whatever.
The hunt began at Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. That's where Wells was working at 1:30 p.m. on the day of the robbery, when an order came in for 2 small sausage and pepperoni pies to be delivered to a location on the outskirts of the city.
Okay. I mean, that's a fucking suspicious address.
Thank you.
The outskirts of the city. You know, only bad shit's happening there. It's going to be an abandoned warehouse or something.
Wells,
And small? Too small?
very
Yes. What the
suspicious.
fuck is that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Weird.
Wells was a loyal employee. In 10 years, the only time he had called in late for work was when his cat died. Even though he was at the end of his shift, he agreed to deliver the order. He walked out of the shop, 2 pies in hand, at about 2 p.m.
It's weird that they're trying to build sympathy with how loyal he was to the local fucking Pizza Hut, right? Really? Like if he was a half-ass delivery guy that called in all the time, we'd be like, well, he deserved to get his head blown off.
His head exploded, but he was a loyal slave to capitalism, so our hearts go out.
Do you think they offered pizza parties to the staff?
Oh, Jesus.
I do think that because
Yeah.
I worked at a lot of pizza places in my day.
The delivery location, reachable only by a dirt road, was a TV transmission tower site in a wooded area off busy Peach Street. When investigators combed the vicinity, they discovered shoe prints consistent with Wells's footwear and tire tracks matching the treads on his Geo Metro. But the site offered no clues as to who may have lured him there or what happened once he arrived.
Okay. I'm not saying anyone should expect to have an explosive collar affixed to their neck, but I guess I am saying that if you're delivering pizza to a transmission tower in the fucking woods, like you're going to get an explosive collar affixed to your neck, man.
Something like that's going to happen. It's on the outskirts. Too small. Oh, come on.
What is the
This your
address?
fault.
Transmission tower at 123 outskirts?
One transmission tower.
I know, right? I know exactly which one.
I bet radio waves get hungry too. I never turn down a delivery. This is a laudable quality about me. The next day, a reporter and
I turned into the character from Snow Crash all of a sudden. That was fun.
bodies. It's a different.
It's not the same.
No. The next day, a reporter. Imagine if it was though. That would be fucking great. The next day, a reporter and a photographer for the Erie Times News.
That would have been a
headed to the
very
tower.
clever joke, actually. If it,
Imagine if the world was different. I would have nailed that just now.
Can you imagine how clever my wordplay would have been? What a time. The dirt road leading there was cordoned off by authorities, but the journalists spotted a tall, heavy-set man in denim Carhartt overalls pacing in front of a home that sat right next to it. His backyard extended almost to the transmission tower, the man identified himself as Bill Rothstein.
Huh. Sounds like the name of a Voltron-like anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
Rothstein, 59, was an unmarried handyman and a lifelong resident of the area. He spoke elegantly, like someone who takes great pride in the mastery of the English language. He was also fluent in French and Hebrew.
What?
Rothstein seemed oblivious to the investigation unfolding beyond his backyard. The journalists, eager to get a view of the scene, asked Rothstein if he could lead them through his yard. He agreed. They headed into the thick brush, but still couldn't see much. After spending about 15 minutes at Rothstein's place, they took off.
They just left? They were like, okay, just your normal trilingual rhetorician in Erie, Pennsylvania, who said he's not a spy. It's another dead end, boys. Let's take off.
Bill Rothstein may have appeared to be just a man who owned a house next to a TV tower.
He may not have as well. He's the most suspicious possible person. He just made a joke about how fucking suspicious he was.
But he turned out to be hiding a dark secret.
Well, you don't fucking say.
On September 20th, less than a month after the bomb killed Welts, Rothstein called 911. At 8645 Peach Street, in the garage, there is a frozen body, he told the police dispatcher, referring to his own address. It's in the freezer. Within hours of making the call, Rothstein was in custody. He told the cops that he had been in agony for weeks. He had considered killing himself. He told them he had gone so far as to write a suicide note, which investigators found inside a desk at his home. Writing in black marker, Rothstein expressed his apologies to those who cared for or about me, identified the body in his freezer as that of Jim Roden, and noted that he, quote, did not kill him nor participate in his death, end quote. The note opened with a curious disclaimer. This has nothing to do with the Wells case.
Come on.
Also, I'm not gay.
Wait, P.S. I doth protest a normal amount. Love Bill.
Over the next 2 days, Rothstein explained to police how a dead man came to be in his freezer. In mid-August, he said he had received a phone call from an ex-girlfriend, Marjorie Deal Armstrong, who he had dated in the 1960s and early 1970s.
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene for
It's
everybody,
100%
right? It's like
Marjorie
impossible
Taylor Greene,
not
yeah.
to be.
I mean, I'm going to
Yep.
make Cecil
Yep.
do the Boston lady voice, but it's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Nice.
Deal Armstrong told him she had shot her live-in boyfriend, James Roden, in the back with a Remington 12-gauge shotgun in a dispute over money. Now she needed help removing the body and cleaning up the scene inside her Erie home, about 10 miles from Rothstein's place. Rothstein did what she asked. He kept the corpse in a chest freezer in his garage for 5 weeks. He painstakingly melted down the murder weapon and scattered the pieces around Erie County, but Rothstein said he couldn't go through with the plan to grind up the body, and he called 911 because he was afraid of what Deal Armstrong might do to him.
I love the idea that he gets this call about this shit while he's in the middle of planning his elaborate collar plot, and he's like, oh, you just shot him in the fucking back? That's boring. Bored, done to death.
On September 21st, the day after Rothstein called 911, Deal Armstrong was arrested for the murder of Roden. 16 months later, in January of 2005, she pleaded guilty but mentally ill and was sentenced to 7 to 20 years in state prison. But by that time, Rothstein was past caring about the old girlfriend he'd given up to the cops. He died of lymphoma in July of 2004. The team of federal agents investigating the colliery bomb mystery hadn't been paying much attention to the Rondon murder. It was a local matter and seemed to have nothing to do with their case.
Really? Nothing? Nothing to do with it.
If you can't trust a totally normal denial in a suicide note written by a guy with a frozen murder victim laying around, who can you trust?
But in April of 2005, they got a phone call from a state police officer who had just met with Deal Armstrong about an unrelated homicide. Rothstein's suicide note, it seemed, was a lie.
Get the fuck out of here.
Deal Armstrong had said that Roden's murder had everything to do with the collar bomb plot. When the feds met with Deal Armstrong, she told them that if they could arrange a transfer from Muncie State Penitentiary to the minimum security prison in Cambridge Springs, a facility much closer to Erie, she would tell them everything she knew.
I mean, lady, We would if you traffic kids, but this is a pretty serious offense here, so...
Even before she was arrested for killing Roden, Deal Armstrong was one of Erie's most notorious figures, well known for her string of dead lovers. She first drew public attention in 1984 when at 35 she was charged with murdering her boyfriend, Robert Thomas. Deal Armstrong claimed that she shot him 6 times in self-defense, and a jury eventually acquitted her. 4 years later, her husband, Richard Armstrong, died of a cerebral hemorrhage. The death was ruled accidental, but questions lingered. Armstrong had a head injury when he arrived at the hospital, but the case was never forwarded to the coroner's office.
There was a post-it note next to the gaping head wound that said, accidental, not Marjorie.
Very clever.
And some freezer bags just marked, just in case, wink.
Back in high school, according to former classmates, Deal Armstrong was known for her dazzling intelligence. And she still possessed an almost encyclopedic knowledge of literature, history, and the law. But over the years, that brilliance had become spiked with madness. According to court records, she suffered from bipolar disorder. Her mood swung sharply, and she appeared unable to control her nonstop, rapid-fire speech. She was paranoid and narcissistic. In 1984, investigators found 400 pounds of butter and more than 700 pounds of cheese, nearly all of it rotting inside her trash-strewn house.
Sad.
Psychiatrists deemed her mentally incompetent 7 times before a judge finally ruled she was fit to be tried in the Thomas case.
They said it was 700 pounds, but some of that was Velveeta, so that doesn't count toward the total.
Okay. Also, the lack of bread makes it weird for me.
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like you're making a grilled cheese, you need the bread. The ratio's weird too. A couple weird things there.
It's kind of fucked up that the court can go, okay, but is she sane now 8 times in a row? Though, right?
Yeah. She seemed to be exactly the kind of person, murderous, eccentric, and intent on demonstrating her intellectual gifts, who might devise an overly complicated bank heist. She also seemed to be the kind of person who would likely be unable to stop herself from telling the world about her brilliant ruse.
In her high school yearbook, it says she was voted most likely to commit a murder and be really fucking tedious about it. So
Me and Tom also got that superlative.
You did. It's true. When Deal Armstrong met with federal investigators for a series of interviews, that's exactly what she appeared to be doing. While she insisted that she was not in any way involved in the plot, she admitted that she knew about it, that she had supplied the kitchen timers that were used in the bomb, and that she was within a mile of the bank at the time of the robbery. She also said that Wells, the dead pizza delivery guy, was not just a victim, but had been in on the plan. And so was Rothstein, the man who turned her in for Roden's murder. In fact, she asserted he had masterminded the whole thing.
Okay. I love the idea that she created this genius plan with an elaborate string of riddle clues that she worked out. But the cops were like, well, another dead end, unsolvable lunch. She had to like confess to get some attention about it.
Mm-hmm. But even as Deal Armstrong pointed the finger at Rothstein, she was implicating herself. Indeed, even before hearing her self-incriminating testimony, investigators had begun to suspect that Deal Armstrong was behind the collar bomb plot. Over the previous weeks, they had met with 4 separate informants who revealed that Deal Armstrong had talked about the crime in intimate detail. One kept notes of the conversations, which included Deal Armstrong's assertions that she killed Roden because, quote, he was going to tell about the robbery, end quote, and that she had helped measured Wells's neck for the bomb. Then, in late 2005, a few months after Deal Armstrong first talked to the feds, they received another break in the case. A witness came forward to say that an ex-television repairman turned crack dealer named Kenneth Barnes was also involved. Barnes, an old fishing buddy of Deal Armstrong, had spoken too freely about the plan, and his brother-in-law had turned him in while Barnes was already in jail on unrelated drug charges. Threatened with even more time behind bars, Barnes agreed to a deal. He would give a full account of the crime in exchange for a reduced sentence.
okay, a crack dealer fisherman feels very Pennsylvania. Just
really does.
very Pennsylvania.
Yeah, hard to decide between Democrats and Republicans, right? Like, hard to decide. Crack dealer, fisherman. I don't know what to do.
John Fetterman. Barnes confirmed the Fed's belief.
You considered doing the voice for a second. I can hear it.
It was the pause you heard was me fucking Roger Rabbiting to not do the voice. Barnes confirmed the Fed's belief that Diehl Armstrong was, in fact, the mastermind behind the collar bomb plot. He claimed she needed the cash so she could pay him to kill her father, who she believed was blowing through his fortune, money she expected to inherit. Barnes insisted he was kept in the dark about several aspects of the plot. But even with holes, his account corroborated much of what agents had already heard. The investigation, finally, was gaining steam.
Well, quick, before we introduce Alice, the human trafficking house cleaner, to the story, we should take a quick break for some apropos of nothing.
Hi, are you Marjorie?
Yeah, who wants to fucking know?
Hey, I'm Heath. I'm your blind date.
Oh, yeah, come in, handsome.
Thank you. Nice place. I love this couch.
It's not a fucking couch, it's cheese.
Even better. Like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, even better.
Okay, well, here's the scoop. I need your help taking care of some money problems. My old man is blowing my fortune, and I need to pay a hitman to, take him out. What do you say?
Yeah, totally. My mom, she leaves her Christmas tree up forever, apparently.
Oh, okay, great. Last question. Have you ever been told that your skull is bulletproof or otherwise harder than a normal skull?
Nope. No, nothing like that. Just like bones and stuff.
I gotta say, you're taking this real well,
Honestly, I stopped listening after I learned about the cheese count.
Okay, got it.
So you gonna finish that, or
Don't touch the fucking cheese!
got it? No, got it. Too soon. Maybe later.
Hey, podcast listener, are you filled with ire?
Ire for the deserving, the sinful, the evil.
Well, then you need vulgarity for charity.
That's right. Our yearly charity drive allows you to aim the weapons of our ire at the person of your choice, all while making the world a better place.
This year, we're raising money for recovering from religion, and already we've raised over $50,000.
But there's still plenty of time to give. Plus, the more you give, the better chance you have of making it into our top 50 donors, who are guaranteed to hear their roast on air, either on The Scathing Atheist or Cognitive Dissonance.
So head to recoveringfromreligion.org. Click Vulgarity for Charity at the top of the page, donate $50 or more, and tell us who deserves the tongue lashing of a lifetime.
Vulgarity for Charity. It's for charity, but it's mostly to vent whatever is inside of Tom.
Can I say the mean stuff now?
It's soon, Tom. Soon.
When we left off, our band of little rascals hadn't found an exploding dog yet. What happened next, Eli?
So on February 10th of 2006, federal agents met again with Diehl Armstrong, who had brought her attorney. The agents told Diehl Armstrong they had enough evidence to bring an indictment against her. She went ballistic, slamming her fist on the conference table and cursing out the agents and her lawyer. But, incredibly, she continued to speak with them. In a subsequent meeting, she even agreed to drive around Erie with them to point out where she was the day Wells robbed the bank. At the conclusion of the drive, in which she admitted to being at several locations linked to the crime, Diehl Armstrong told the agents she wouldn't provide any more information without receiving an immunity letter. It was too late. The woman who couldn't stop talking had already said far too much.
Fuck, is it quid first? You're a lawyer. You didn't tell me that shit?
In July of 2007, a month shy of the 4-year anniversary of Wells's death by collar bomb, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Erie called a news conference about a major development in the case. Standing before a bank of TV cameras, U.S. Attorney Mary Beth Buchanan announced that the investigation was over. Deal Armstrong and Barnes were charged with carrying out the sensational crime, a plot that Deal Armstrong had put into motion. The indictment also charged that other conspirators were involved. Rothstein was one, and Wells, the purported victim, was another. Pulling together information called for more than 1,000 interviews over almost 4 years, the indictment charged that Wells was in on the scheme from the beginning. He had agreed to rob the bank wearing what he thought was a fake bomb. The scavenger hunt, he told, was simply a ruse to fool the cops. If he got caught, he could just point to the menacing instructions as evidence that he was merely following orders.
If you can't trust the lady who killed 4 of her lovers living in a house of rotten cheese, again, who can you trust?
Yeah, as soon as you hear, don't worry, it'll be a fake bomb, I don't care about the context. Extricate yourself from that plan.
Yeah. But over time, Buchanan said, Wells went from being a planner to a, quote, unwilling participant. At some point, instead of merely playing the part of the hostage, Wells was double-crossed and actually became one. The fake bomb turned out to be a real one, and the scavenger hunt went from a clever piece of misdirection to a real-life race against the clock. Wells's family seemed stunned. One of his sisters, Barbara White, repeatedly shrieked, liar, as Buchanan completed her statement.
Hey, it's weird to invite the family to that thing for the big dramatic reveal,
Okay.
right?
I had the exact same thought as reading this story, but you also have to put yourself in the position of the lady doing the reveal, because she's got to call them and be like, no, because here, you got to call them and be like, hey, you might not want to come tomorrow.
Okay.
Marjorie Deal Armstrong's brilliance had become spiked with madness. Paranoid and narcissistic, her moods swung sharply, and she appeared unable to control her nonstop, rapid-fire speech. Wells's relatives weren't the only ones who were dubious. For those who closely tracked the case, the government's long-awaited announcement was severely unsatisfying. It seemed to provoke as many questions as it had answered. Why would Wells participate in such a plot? Did he realize the danger he was in? And could Deal Armstrong, with her myriad mental issues, really plan such a complex crime? The questions only multiplied a week later when it was revealed that the FBI had concluded that the entire scavenger hunt was a hoax. The bomb was rigged such that any attempt to remove it would have set it off. Wells was destined to die.
Okay, looks like the last clue, just a picture of the Crest flip-top head commercial and a Pez dispenser. I'm not feeling so good about this, fellas.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but fucking duh. Well, there's no reason to go to the trouble of making a real bomb if the plan isn't to kill the dude.
Correct. Thank you. Barnes pleaded guilty in September of 2008 to the conspiracy and weapons charges involved in the collar bomb plot. He was sentenced to 45 years behind bars, but he agreed to testify against Deal Armstrong in the hope of getting his sentence reduced. Deal Armstrong's trial promised to clear up the mysteries that had surrounded the collar bomb case, but those revelations would have to wait. First, a federal judge ruled Deal Armstrong mentally unfit to stand trial. When she finally was deemed ready to face a judge and jury, she was diagnosed with glandular cancer, and the proceeding was put on hold again as she awaited her prognosis. The judge received the doctor's assessment in August of 2010. Deal Armstrong had 3 to 7 years to live. Prosecutors opted to press on, and the trial was rescheduled for October 12th.
Okay, says here her make-a-wish is to affix a bomb to the Uber Eats guy's ball sack while she covers herself in moldy cheddar.
It all checks out.
She is a genius, though.
I'm not sure what point Tom thought he was making.
Most intriguing, Deal Armstrong's lawyer, Douglas Seguin, had decided to let his client take the stand.
Well, he should be disbarred.
I think somewhere between the ride with the cops and the secondary interview. It seemed to be a risky move. After all, she had already implicated herself in the murder. Was it wise to let such an erratic, unpredictable personality testify?
And you're painting a train tunnel on the side of the witness stand. Not clear what that is. Okay.
Can you answer me these riddles 3? Okay.
On day 5 of the trial in the Erie Federal Courthouse, Ken Barnes took the stand. By this time, the prosecutor, Marshall Pinscolini, a fast-talking, silver-haired assistant U.S. attorney, had already built an impressive case, summarizing the strange characters linked to the Wells plot as a case of, quote, twisted, intellectually bright, dysfunctional individuals who outsmarted themselves, end quote.
Reject the fucking premise. They didn't outsmart their shoes. This was all done. Look, remember, this was all done for a max payout of $250,000 that turned out to be $8,070.
It's my favorite thing about this article is that they're just like these masterminds.
Even their aspirations are so low.
I sat on my balls and died. Moriarty strikes again. Sorry. Pinzanini had trotted out 7 former inmates who
racist.
recounted incriminating information that Diehl Armstrong had shared with them. Barnes, the ex-crack dealer and would-be hitman, was Pinzanini's star with.
You say Barnes fine. You fuck up this other name on purpose. I'm sorry. You're
not
racist.
fucking it up. I'm saying it authentically, like mozzarella and farfallone. And his final one. He was also the man who seemed prepared, finally, to tell the whole story of what happened in the days leading up to August 28th, 2003, the day of the robbery. Barnes, who had the wan...
Barney. I believe it's Barney.
Thank you. Thank
who
you,
had
Noah.
the wan
Bigot.
face and sparse collection of teeth of the former crack addict he was. What a fucking
Nice.
sentence. Jesus.
That's
He was
amazing.
Irish
Approach
in
the
my
bench.
head when I did the voice earlier. Now I see what's happened. It's gone badly for me. Cecil?
Approached the bench and took the oath.
Nope.
Then he sat in the witness
Cecil,
box.
I'd like to approach the bench for an edit.
Then he sat in the witness box and matter-of-factly described the conspiracy to a rapt jury.
He did have a sparse collection of teeth, but they were in a small canister, not in his mouth.
Yeah. Now, the Tooth Fairy is a lender of last resort for crackheads. You know,
Jesus
so you can
Christ.
still get a quarter out of one of those things.
Diehl Armstrong, Barnes said, devised the plan and enlisted a few co-conspirators to help carry it out. Rothstein was one of them. Wells was another. Lured in with promise of a payday, he certainly needed the money. It turned out that the quiet pizza man had a relationship with a prostitute.
Dun,
With the help of his pal Barnes, he bought crack, which he then gave to the prostitute in exchange for sex. But in the weeks before the robbery, Wells fell into debt with his crack dealers and needed cash.
Wait, they have rent to own crack? What are we talking about here?
There was a margin call?
It was only on the afternoon of the crime when he delivered the pizzas to the TV transmission tower that Wells realized he had been double-crossed and that the bomb was real. He was
Then why was he so chill sucking on a dum-dum when it fucking went off?
he was tackled.
Dum-dums are just good.
Yeah,
Okay.
get a little treat. He was tackled as he tried to sprint away and locked into the device at gunpoint.
Why would they announce like, haha, it's a double cross now? Like, now you have to tackle the guy. The whole point of double cross is the secret nature of it.
Yeah, it's the bomb.
So true.
Throughout Barnes's testimony, Diehl Armstrong angrily whispered to her attorney. Several times she blurted out, liar, drawing stern warnings from the judge. To all appearances, it was excruciating for her to listen to people like this discredit her.
Well, it's also excruciating to go to prison forever, too, so I can see an alternate explanation for her attitude.
Christ. On October 26th, the 8th day of the trial, Diehl Armstrong finally got the opportunity to tell her version of events. For 5.5 hours over 2 days, she used the witness stand as her stage. Her wavy black hair looked greasy and clung to the sides of her face. Every time she opened her mouth, she unleashed a torrent of words. She ridiculed her lawyer. That's a stupid question, Mr. Sugar. She belittled the prosecutor. If this is the kind of evidence you have against me, I'm telling you, this is a pitiful case. She cried. She yelled. More than 50 times the judge sought, often futilely, to cut her off. During her first day on the stand, she mentioned Brian Wells only once. In the final 10 minutes of a nearly 100-minute-long diatribe, quote, I never met Brian Wells, and I never knew Brian Wells, never. I became aware of him the day that he died. I saw it on the news, end quote. The jury didn't buy it. After deliberating for 11 hours, the 7 women and 5 men returned guilty verdicts on all 3 charges: armed bank robbery, conspiracy, and using a destructive device in the crime of violence. She could face a mandatory life term when she was sentenced on February 28th.
For the FBI, it was a hell of a collar. Collar.
After 7
Call
years...
it. That's it. It's done.
After 7 years,
Why did it take 11 hours of deliberation, by the way? What the fuck did they talk about for 11 hours?
I guarantee you what they did is they mapped out this stupid fucking story. They were like, wait, why is the crack dealer hitman a part of the...
Why did they say we're double crossing you at that point? Because then they could just not.
Who's the ex-boyfriend?
Someone type into Google if you could buy crack on layaway. I don't believe that.
There's going to be
part.
a fake bomb. Why did they build a real
They
bomb?
got the pizza
it's just
guy
adding
and the
so
crack
much to
dealer
it.
and the boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend.
You think we could get free pizza if we hold out more hours?
Too many people.
But then
After
It's
7
funny if we order from the same pizza place,
We
right?
should get it. We should do it. 30 minutes and we get to lock a bomb collar around you. After 7 years, the outstanding questions had finally been answered. At least that's how most observers viewed Neil Armstrong's conviction. But that's not how Jim Fisher sees things. So, sorry, podcast listener, I have to chime in here for a second. The last part of this essay is fucking insane and completely stupid, but I'm going to deliver it straight. So just play with me. Play with me. Okay. A retired FBI criminal investigator, Fisher, started closely tracking the collar bomb case after he saw footage of Wells squirming on the pavement with the device yoked around his neck. The then 64-year-old criminal justice professor had a thing for unsolved crimes, and this was one of the most staggering he had ever seen. He obsessively pored over the media coverage of the case and studied every piece of evidence released by the FBI. And according to Fisher, there is no way that Marjorie Neil Armstrong planned the collar bomb caper.
Okay, why do I feel strongly like a Jean-Benet Ramsey tie-in is about to come?
Yeah, you get it, fucking baby. For
Katy
proof,
Perry's involved now. The Trudeau family.
Brittany Murphy,
For proof, Fisher points to a profile of the collar bomber produced by the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit.
Oh, the horoscopes of criminology. Yeah, that should be definitive.
Quote, it continues to be the opinion of the department that this is much more than a mere bank robbery, it reads. The behavior seen in this crime was choreographed by Collar Bomber, watching on the sidelines according to a written script in which he attempted to direct others to do what he wanted them to do. Because of the complex nature of this crime, the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit believes there were multiple motives for the offender, and money was not the primary one, end quote. In other words, the robbery was never the point. Whoever planned the heist didn't care whether Wells delivered the cash. They just wanted to grab.
This is so stupid.
It's the stupidest fucking. It's completely insane, based on nothing. They just wanted to craft a beguiling puzzle. One that would resist explanation for years to come, and that would keep cops and investigators hunting fruitlessly after clues, just as Wells was sent on his doomed scavenger hunt.
Okay, more plausible than that theory, this FBI cold case guy is the Riddler in real life. And now he's mad that nobody followed his genius clues.
She's getting all the credit. Yeah.
None of this, Fisher says, sounds much like Neil Armstrong, who prosecutors credited with planning the whole affair in order to get enough money to pay a hitman. But if Neil Armstrong didn't set this plan in motion, who did? Fisher turns back to the FBI's profile, which states that the bomb builder was, quote, comfortable around a wide variety of power tools and shop machines, end quote.
No shit.
He was, quote, a frugal person who saves scraps of sundry materials in order to reuse them in various projects, end quote. And he was, quote,
my father.
and he was, quote, the type of person who takes pride in building a variety of things. Come on! End quote.
Okay, I knew those Mythbusters guys couldn't be trusted. You could just shift.
Hold on a second. I'm starting to think that the known accomplice whose yard everything happened in, who had a body in this freezer, might have been one of the bad guys.
To Fisher, that sounded like a description of Bill Rothstein, right? You are no illusions. The man who lived next to the TV tower and who agreed to keep a dead man in his garage freezer. The handyman had the skills to fabricate such an elaborate explosive device. Even more convincing to Fisher was the description of the mastermind directing others, according to the written script that only he seemed to have access to.
Wait, the trilingual genius in overalls from Erie, Pennsylvania, who only spoke in iambic pentameter? I thought we included him as like just a patsy in the crime.
I know. Big twist. In Fisher's view, Rothstein toyed with the investigators from the start, concocting the scavenger hunt, at least in part, to send them on a useless chase, eating up valuable time in the precious days after the robbery. Then there was the 911 call. Fingering Deal Armstrong in the Roden murder case allowed Rothstein to frame the Wells investigation on his own terms. If he hadn't gone to the feds, he knew Deal Armstrong or one of his co-conspirators would have. So he implicated Deal Armstrong in the Roden case before she could rat him out, all while pleading ignorance of the collar bomb affair. He also gave the impression that he was a man with nothing to hide. After all, why would someone who was involved in the plot voluntarily call the cops and meet with them for hours? Rothstein continued to deny any knowledge of the collar bomb plot on his deathbed, even though he seemingly had no more reason to hide. Until his dying day, Rothstein was insulating himself, or in Fisher's words, controlling the narrative.
Okay, I just got to say, Erie, Pennsylvania is way more full of secret genius masterminds than I would have ever imagined.
No, it's not.
No, yeah.
We got
no.
the one.
So, at least part of this whole bit is both this writer and this Fisher guy's inability to accept that a lady was in charge.
1,000,000%. 1 million. This article might as well be like, but what if she had gotten her period? In his closing argument at the Deal Armstrong trial, the prosecutor, PNC, described the crime as, quote, ludicrous, overwrought, overworked, desperately failed, planned, end quote. If stealing money was the ultimate goal, then that's a pretty accurate summary. But Fisher thinks this wasn't about the money. Rothstein, who never accomplished much in life, wanted to prove his brilliance by executing a crime that would grab headlines across the globe and baffle authorities for years.
If the goal was a desperately failed plan, then he nailed it, I suppose.
He recruited co-conspirators he knew he could control and kept crucial details of the plot from them, a tactic designed to further complicate the investigation.
Hey, okay. To all the criminal masterminds listening right now, you gotta stop desperately trying to get on our show.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
get on without doing the murders. You'll still do your thing, maybe, if it's funny. Just don't kill everybody.
The son of a bitch ended up winning, Fisher says. He died with all of his secrets. He died taking all the answers with him. He gets the last laugh in that sense. He escaped punishment. He escaped detection. He left us with these idiots and a bunch of questions.
Well, yeah, no, the lucky guy died of cancer. I mean, like, he didn't win. He died of cancer before he could lose.
Those questions, Fisher says, serve as a reminder of Rothstein's ultimate triumph. He died a free man.
What?
And the last step in the scavenger hunt, the clue that reveals the answers that the agents had been searching for all along, will forever remain hidden.
So he died, and he was like, all part of the trick.
Got him.
Got him.
Gotcha. Yeah,
It's a
right.
good thing
right.
everybody I set up as a patsy knew each other and had a motive for a crime and told
How do I write this story and not blame
Told
the
a
Jew? Let's
dozen
see.
other people that they'd
No,
done
no,
it.
gonna blame the Jew.
Yeah, it's fine.
And if you had to summarize what you learned in one sentence, what would it be?
If you think smart people's plans never backfire, I challenge you to watch No Illusions Use a Computer.
Are you ready for the quiz?
Oh, I've never been more ready.
All right. What was the least appropriate joke that one of the cops made when the dude's head exploded? A, oh, come on, this is nothing to lose your head over. B, let's hope his old lady is into necrophilia. I tried all day to come up with a joke that I could use so you wouldn't have to use that one, but I couldn't come up with them. C, regular or decap.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
amazing.
Or D, well, that bank robber got away with next to nothing.
Fantastic.
They're all great.
Gonna go with D, next to nothing.
It is next to nothing. Yeah, so
All right, Eli, this is now my second favorite neck-based story. Which of the following is my number one? A, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, in which the title character is forced to wear a dead albatross around his neck as punishment for killing the bird. And now albatross around one's neck is an idiom for an ongoing burden that's hard to get rid of. So, cool history thing. B. Cool history thing. B. The myth. Nobody? Okay. B. The myth of Medusa and Perseus, in which the act of cutting off Medusa's head at the neck is the pivotal moment in the story, leading to the birth of Pegasus and Chrysaor from her neck, and allowing Perseus to use her severed head as a weapon. Or C. Charlie Kirk.
I mean, I know my favorite, but I don't want to go to jail.
You're allowed to,
60 days.
it could be your favorite death. You can have a favorite death. You have to be allowed to have a favorite death.
You have to be allowed to have a secret answer D. You have to be allowed to have a favorite
That
death.
is correct. It was D. And yes, you do have to be allowed to have that. Mine is Charlie Kirk.
All right. Eli, the greatest loose thread in this story that I cannot help wondering about is A, what happened to those Woods pizzas that never got delivered?
Right? Pepperoni and sausage. That sounds delicious.
B, seriously, I know a man died here, but there's no reason to skip lunch.
Right? Gooey cheese.
Oh, it's A. Is it A?
It is A. It's A and B. Where's the goddamn pizza? Write the whole story, Eli. Write the whole goddamn story.
That's true.
All right. Well, because he was brave, Heath wins.
Excellent. Excellent. Just like Charlie Kirk that day. Brave. Too bad. Anyway, next week, this is very exciting. Are y'all ready? Let's hear from Michael Marshall. Whoa!
Oh, shit.
Yes, it is.
I didn't realize we were allowed to just name people in the podcastiverse.
They didn't have to show up and do our work for us.
All right.
Senior
Well, for
pets.
Heath, Tom, Noah, and Eli, I'm Cecil. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Marsh will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, donate to Bulgarity for charity. And if you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or you can leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. If you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes. Be sure to check out citationpod.com.
Oh.
So, you fucking sure? You haven't seen the batteries for my remote anywhere?
I'm zoom.
Right.